Yes, people. How are we all doing? Welcome back to what can only be described as the post mortem of yesterday's game. Um, Liverpool lost 5-2 to Real Madrid at home after being 2-0 up, and it really felt like the end of an era. This really felt like, the best way I can describe it is when people are on death's door, there often comes a little phase where they suddenly have a resurgence of energy. They want to do stuff, they want to get out there, they want to, it's almost like they're back to their old self, but it's just a ploy, it's just a facade, and you cannot deny the inevitable. That's what this past 2 weeks has felt like for Liverpool after last night. We picked ourselves up, we, dust ourselves off. We beat Everton, we beat Newcastle. We thought we'd finally turned the corner. But no. There's no denying the inevitable. This is the end of the Jurgen Klopp team. This is the end of this Liverpool era. And it's sad, really. It's sad. But let's just get through some of the comments to start off with. Big up yourself, Eunice. I'm already over it, and that's not a good thing. Previously at defeat, especially this big, used to sting. Now I'm just numb to it. That's how the seasons went, mate. That is how this season has went. We just sit there and we expect it. I mean, they put in the fifth, and I wasn't. I didn't react. I wasn't annoyed. I wasn't angry. It was just like that was coming. That was bound to happen. Like it hurts. This isn't a call-in show, Yavad, but at some point, I will do a call-in show at some point. But we're at the Champions League, most likely. Big up yourself, Ryan. Absolute disgrace last night. I completely agree. I saw it 11 for next season. It had squad option, not Gomez. Joe Gomez, I don't know. Ice Spice at centre back. He's something else this season. He really is something else. And I'm finally at my wits' end with the lad. I'm finally at my wits' end with him. I can't do it much more. I really can't. I was there last night. Atmosphere until 2-2 was fantastic, especially when we went 2-0 up. Second half, it was toxic because we all saw what was coming. We all saw what was coming a mile away, and the fans aren't buying it anymore. It's very hard to believe in this team when they don't believe in themselves. We went 2-0 up, and I didn't... Even at 2-0 up, I didn't think we were winning. At 2-0 up, I didn't think we were winning. And then when he made it 2-1, I knew we were done for. I said before the game, I'm playing Matip. I don't just trust Gomez at all. Matip would have made less on the ball errors, but they still would have just tried to attack us that side. We just missed Canate. I would have much rather played Nat Phillips. Might be our last UCL game at home for a long time. It really might just be because we absolutely reek. We reek. We are terrible, and to be quite frank, we don't deserve top four. And getting top four could potentially be the worst thing for us because it would just paper over cracks. It would paper over cracks. FSG would not invest. Jurgen Klopp would believe that he can get more out of this squad when he can't. When it's done, it's done. It's done. Let it die. Let it rest in peace, and move on. We have to move on, and we have to evolve. You can blame the players, but the 5-2 is on the manager. I think all parties is to blame. This is the thing. They're always trying to absolve a party of blame. Guess what? Everyone within the club is at fault for that game yesterday. The players on the pitch didn't perform well, but the manager didn't exactly help that with his changes. Them changes were some of the most stupid, mind-numbingly dumb changes I've seen in a long time. I didn't get it. Why are you taking off Darwin Núñez? And Curtis said it on the terrace yesterday, the red zone. Quite frankly, there's logic behind the red zone, yeah. But this is the biggest game of our season. Why are we worried about Crystal Palace away or Bournemouth away when Real Madrid are at home? It's a joke, man. It's an absolute joke. Only goal that Gomez is exempt from some blame. Second goal. I mean, he can take some blame for it. The only goal he isn't mainly at fault for is the second goal. I give you that much. The pass back is a little bit short, but I do believe that the main fault in that goal lies on Alisson. I don't get why you tried to pass it back to Joe Gomez and not just went to his left, where there's one of Virgil or Robertson there. But no. We'll be smart and we'll go the other way. Stupid. I thought we needed 2 changes. Now, the more I see this team play, we might need 4 or 5 first-team changes. We need 5 major transfers and 3 minor transfers. We need 8 transfers. We need to completely overhaul the squad because we've missed the boat. We should have done it last summer, but we were all riding the high. We got so close to the quad. Maybe they can run it back one more time. No. They could not run it back one more time. That was just... And yes, they proved it. Last time we played Real Madrid, we were unlucky to not, get the win. We battered them. Yesterday, we were the ones battered at home. At home, it was an absolute shambles. And I hated it. I hated every minute of that game. Every single minute of that game, I absolutely detested. I'd even given the first goal. Yeah, no, the first goal, I think he can get a little bit tighter, but there's no stopping that finish once it's been hit, sort of thing. No stopping it. This team is so inconsistent, massively inconsistent. When we went 2-0 up, we should have sat back, stayed compact enough to hit them on the counter, though. Counter through Salah and Nunes. That's what Madrid did when they went 3-2 and 4-2 up. That requires our manager to make a good change, and my manager's not made a good change all season. Vinicius in the corner, really good goal. It was probably the best goal of the day. The argument could be, as I've just said, he really should have closed down that shot. We're finished that with probably, mate. Probably are. Like that was just absolutely shambolic. Absolutely shambolic. And it really just felt so weird. So weird watching this team. They've crumbled a lot this season, but I thought, European stage, the brighter lights shine on the field, the better players perform. No. They did not perform. Exactly, don't forget top 4 would be status and achievements and paper over cracks. Fan base would gas it up. It would literally be the worst thing that could happen because it would make the people in power in the football club believe what they've done is right. And it isn't. It isn't. Up until 2-2, it was very good. After that, it was very bad. I actually felt heartbreak for once we were 2-0 up in the first 15 minutes, and then once we conceded 5, that is a disgrace, and the confidence gone for top 4. Our thumbs up, thinks a good season. Smash the like button like Real Madrid smashed us. Yes, listen to him. Get that like button hit down below. Someone might have an Elliot fetish at this club. Why bring the kid on when it's 5-2? Why do him like that? I just like that he's still on for his record. That's like the only good thing I can take out this season. He's still on for his record of I think it's playing in every game possible for the club this season. So give him that one, and then we're all boxed off. When we went 2-0 up, I still wasn't confident. Neither was I. Because they didn't look phased by it. Thibaut Courtois made a massive error, and he just wasn't phased at all by it. Like, that's an issue in itself. That's an issue in itself. When our heads went, our heads went. But when theirs went, it was just their heads didn't go. That's the point. They went 2-0 down away from home and looked like you could have thought they were the home team. That's how bad it was. That's how shambolic it was. I'm trying to find a player ratings website, but I can't do it. No one wants to let me rate these players. I have to do it off my own head, I think. I'll have to do it off my own head. I was not confident even when we were 2-0 up. Neither was I. Second goal was all Alisson. I don't blame Gomez at all. It's very harsh to blame Gomez for that one, but I do think if you're nitpicking, you can do it. Why didn't we just park the bus at 2 goals up? Because we've not got the defence to park the bus. Could you imagine us trying to hold out for 90 minutes? We just couldn't do it. Like, we just have no squad for it. Big up, Tom, my bro. Big up yourself, Minerals. Why is Klopp at fault when Fab, Hendo, Ali made silly headers? It's not Klopp's fault you choked a 2-0 lead, but Klopp might get sacked. Jurgen Klopp should have made a change. Jurgen Klopp should have, and when he did make a change, he should have made better changes than the ones that he did. Let me just get this light on real quick. And we have light. His substitutions were shambolic. I will say it as is. Why would you take off Gakpo? Gakpo I can understand actually because Gakpo stunk up the gaff. But Nunes was our biggest threat of the game, and you took him off. And you bring on Roberto Firmino for him, and push Diogo Jota out wide, even though Diogo Jota's best position's in the middle. But okay, substitutions wise, we've got 20 minutes to go. We need to get some goals. You bring on James Milner. James Milner hasn't scored an open play goal for Liverpool since I think it was MK Dons in the Cup 4 years ago. That was James Milner's last open play goal. If you want his last open play goal actually meant something, like in a big game, it was Arsenal 5 years ago in 2018. 2018, November time, when we drew 1-1. That was James Milner's last open play goal. But we sit there and bring him on because, he's going to, lead us to glory. Bollocks. Bollocks, bollocks, bollocks. Salah in the first half was electric. Second half, he was poor. Could say that for most people. I think Gomez passed back to Alisson was a mistake, but Alisson should have just hoofed it out for a throw in for Madrid or passed it to his right. He should have just passed it to Van Dijk on his left. That's the one he had to do. You hyped him up too much. And Stefan, you hyped him up too much. Camavinga didn't. Stefan was still our best midfielder, which is another concern in itself. The fact that a 19-year-old is still our best midfielder on a Champions League night. But Henderson was just looking to scapegoat anyone else. And Fabinho was just dreadful. I've been telling people that Fabinho has to go for months, since October. But no, we've kept him round. He's good. He'll come back here. No. Let's not be sentimental ourselves. The reason we're in this situation is because we're sentimental. Let's not do it again. Get him gone in the summer. Let's take a minute and absolutely thank the fuck out of Madrid for stopping after 65 minutes. That could have been much worse. It could have been. They brought on Danny. You know what? No, it actually did get worse because these ones sat there and olayed us. They were olaying us at 5-2 up. With they brought on subs and it was Asensio, Ceballos, and Carvajal olaying us. Do you know how mad that is? It's so sad. To be on top, you need one major signing every window, even if you don't need it. We have seen this how elite teams work. You don't even need one major signing every window. You just need to not be sentimental. You need to cut players loose when they've run their tenure, when their time's up. That's what you need to do. Not sit there and give them new contracts and keep them around because they've done good stuff 4 years ago. Not at all what you should be doing. I actually felt heartbreak. Yep, I think I've said this one. That was a Mardi Gras massacre. The way Carl did the tactical tweak by switching Valverde with Modric and stopped Modric from pressing high, nullified all the danger from the Salah side. Yep. Nacho Fernandez coming on was also a big out because he was a lot less. I thought Alaba was ropey. I thought Salah was having all the joy against David Alaba because he didn't know which way to try and stop him. Fernandez just wasn't trying to show him either way. He was just sitting there going, I'll let you do something and I'll react to it. And that's really how you defend against him, which is an issue. It's an issue in itself that 3-0 at the Bernabeu to take it to extra time. Who says no? Me. Because there's absolutely no chance we score 3 at the Bernabeu without conceding one. We made Modric look like 28 years old when he's 37 years old. He outrun our midfield. I felt bad for Bajcetic because he's only 18. Me thinking we had a chance. I wish I could cancel the second leg. I just play the kids the second leg. I just have a laugh. Who have we got? Who should be playing the second leg? Because we're not coming back. I would go with... I want a Darwin goal at the Bernabeu, so he's up top. I'll go Kelleher. Calvin Ramsey's got... We'll go Kelleher, Maguire, Phillips, Williams, Tsimikas, Bajcetic, Elliott, Carvalho, Nunes, Jota, and we need another midfielder in there. So don't want to play Elliott and Carvalho in there. So Elliott on the right, Nunes on the left, Jota in the middle, Carvalho in behind, Bajcetic and Milner double pivot. Why not? They can't actually do much worse. They can't do much worse. No changing of the formation from Klopp, like for the substitutions, typical. Yep. Stefan wasn't good, but he's been fantastic for when he's 18. He came against Modric, Valverde, and Camavinga while being next to Fabinho and Henderson. It'll be a learning experience for him. I thought Eduardo Camavinga had an absolute blinder from Camavinga yesterday. Ran the show. That's what a DM performance is, not the shit that we see week in, week out from fucking Fabinho. So, my bro, you worry Liverpool could finish 10th and beat. I've accepted that this may well be our worst season. I've accepted that. It's a major concern. But we'll celebrate it and we'll keep the manager around and we'll make out that he's faultless and he can do no wrong. It's just shocking. Salah's destroying Alabet. Even if we beat Palace and Wolves coming up, I still will remember this game. It's so embarrassing. Comeback is not going to happen. Our fan base seems to believe we're going to do it. It's so laughable. I think it's not belief. It's just if you don't laugh, you'll cry sort of thing. We won't even score 3 goals at the Bernabeu, let alone win by 3 goals. Henderson's completely responsible for the first goal. I'd say it's Henderson, Fabinho, and Gomez all take equal blame because Fabinho was shocking as well. I don't see us winning again with this manager or 11. Winning a trophy, I probably agree with you. Oh, Ben Doak! Yeah, get him in there. Who's dropping? No, but I can't play. Should we just chuck Nunes up top? Go Carvalho on the left, even though I don't think it's his position, but we've got no one else there. We'll have Nunes up top. We'll have Carvalho on the left. We'll have Elliott in the middle, and we'll have Ben Doak on the right. That'll be fun. Ben Doak on the right. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot about Ben Doak. Henderson by Chesic, double pivot. That's harsh on by Chesic. Doak on the left or right. I think we want Doak on the right. Let him cut in. Whip them shots in like he's a prime Scottish Mo Salah. By Chesic, Thiago would that way? Probably, but I don't think Thiago is back for that game. We'll get Basta Madrid and people will let Klopp get away with it again like he's been doing all season. The manager has to take blame. This is the thing. There's people who are quick to put it on the owners and the players. And yes, the owners and players have to take blame for part of the season. But people are blaming yesterday's result on the owners. The owners did not substitute James Milner on with 25 to go. The owners did not sit there and refuse to change formation. The only thing the owners have done is force us to have to play Stefan by Chesic because they haven't brought midfielders in. But even then, Klopp has also had a part to play in that. So it really does just confuse me. Where were we at? Camavinga just turned 20. He's going to go him and Tchouaméni together. Wow. They're going to have an absolute blinder of a midfield, especially if they add Bellingham to that as well. Jesus Christ, that'll be a midfield for the 8. And they've got Valverde. I forgot about Valverde. Valverde was boss as well. Watching their midfield compared to ours, it's like chalk and cheese. It made me long. I've felt longing, which I haven't felt for years. Klopp will go strong with the second line as he will seem to believe we've done it before, but I think Klopp has said himself as Ty was done. I said it yesterday. I would rather he didn't say that. Like, I would rather you just lied to me like you have done all season. Without Alisson, we'd be in a relegation battle. You're not wrong. Doak on the right, Starboy. We're not winning a trophy again with this manager 11. We need 6 quality players coming in, 4 centre-mids and 2 centre-backs. Is it worth me doing that on a separate stream, how I'd fix us, or would you like me to just do it now and bin off player ratings, even though they'd be funny? Like I'll do either or. I'm not really too fussed, but this stream's going to go on until about 6. So how do I do polls, actually? Should we be live on stream and figure out how I can set up a poll? We do that. Let's have a little look. How do we set up a poll? Engage. Start a poll. Yes. Player ratings. Ratings or fixing Liverpool. Yeah. FM. There you go. Hold on. I don't know how long it lasts for. I'll do it until 5:25. We'll do that one. Henderson and Fabinho actually started really well. They could only do 20. Fabinho didn't. There was nothing well about Fabinho. There was nothing well. I'll give Henderson. Henderson ran around a little bit for the first 20. There was nothing well about Fabinho's game yesterday. Klopp will not change his style, but our midfield can't play Klopp football because Hendo and Fabron May's decline. It seems our defenders can't defend one-on-ones. Our defenders can defend one-on-ones. They just can't defend 17 one-on-ones a game, which is what we seem to want to put our defenders through. 5-2 is mainly on the manager, not the players. I'm sorry. The goals are on the players, but the whole performance is on the manager. I think the first goal from Vinny was just class from a world-class player, but it was defendable, letting Vinny on his right, or was it his left foot? We really should have bought him midfielder in January. The way you stop that Vinicius Junior goal is you have your centre-back get right up close to him. We ended up with a half-arsed Fabinho attempt to block it and a half-arsed Joe Gomez attempt to block it, neither of which are going to work. My 11 at the Bernabeu: Guivin Kelleher, Owen Beck, Nat Phillips, Billy Kumesio, Kostas Tsimikas, James Balagizi, Dominic Cornes, Matteo Rutacchio, Harvey Blair, Ben Doak, and Mateusz Muszyalowski. About half of them are out on loan. I think Balagizi's out on loan. Did Owen Beck not get another loan? I know we recalled him back from Bolton. Dominic Cornes, isn't he a striker? Why do I know off our Dedicati products as well? It's a joke. Tom Powell, are you also worried that without Alisson you could be in a relegation battle? What would your crowd do if LSU were in a relegation battle? Back Jurgen Klopp for some reason. That's what they do. You can do a little now. We'll let the poll run scores. We'll let the poll run scores. Bellingham, Kone, Nunes, Gvardiol, and Dicker should be our window. I think it's better you do it on a different stream. At least Hogwarts. I don't get the point of Hogwarts Legacy. I'm not all for these magic pansy games. Give me a bit of FM. I'll stream FM tomorrow. How about that? James Ward-Prowse for backup plan. Fucking hell. Our window should be Bellingham, Nunes, and Kone, and Gvardiol and Antonio Silva, but apparently we do not have money. We've not had money for the 7 years Jurgen Klopp has been here. The only time we had money was when we sold our best player. Trent did not help Gomez at all. I feel bad for him when just centre-back has to deal with the winger. Every time the right-back should be questioned. I think that was just how we play. I think that was the whole point of it. We put Joe Gomez on the side of Vinicius because he's the quickest to do it. And his job was always going to be to deal with Vinicius because we have to push our right-back so high up because our midfield doesn't have to offer creativity. I thought Trent was probably the best out of the defenders yesterday because the few times he was there, he was good at dealing with them. This is the thing that we have to understand. We can't have the best of both worlds where Trent's always up there being an attacking threat, but he's also right alongside Joe Gomez when we have to defend because he's not Usain Bolt. He's not Usain Bolt, so we have to understand that something's going to have to be sacrificed and players are going to have to step in. It was the exact same in the Champions League final, but because Ibrahim Konate is just so much better, we had no problem with it. Trent was our best defender yesterday. The first goal is due to Henderson leaving Vinny to get Benzema, who didn't have the ball. It's on Henderson. It's just a shambles, isn't it? I'd rather we sign Crepin, Turan, Kone, and Matheus Nunes than just Bellingham. If our whole plan is just you, Bellingham, this club is in the mud. And I feel sorry for Bellingham. I really feel sorry for Bellingham. Klopp needs to do the honourable thing and walk at the end of the season. I'd like him to do that because I want him to protect his reputation, and I just don't believe that he's the man for the next phase. But again, if he believes he is, and the ownership in that changes, he's at least warranted another year. But it's going to be a pressure-filled year. It has to be a pressure-filled year. He can't just have another plain sailing ride next year if he stays, because that's his season to prove himself. That's his season to prove why he's in this position. Not all this stuff. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Once it was 2-1, I knew what would happen, as we know what has happened all season. We can see one goal, we capitulate. I do not know what has happened to us. I wonder what Klopp said to them at half time. Well, considering Carlo Ancelotti said nothing to his Real Madrid, do you want to know what's we got? Lads, it's Tottenham by Ancelotti. He sat there and said I didn't have to give them a team talk. We got lads, it's Tottenham, but it was lads, it's Liverpool. Lads, it's only Liverpool. Do you know how bad that is? That's just Oh, it's a fucking joke, man. It's an absolute joke. Maybe having Trent pushing up when they have Vinny is a bad idea. No, because that's how he's like our best creative player. We have to have him push up. It's just you need your other players to step up and move, like and cover and not be knobheads basically. But of course, Joe Gomez, Ice Spice, and Mushroom Head and Fabinho, they're just knobheads. Milner, Ox, Cage are leaving. We'd sign 3 midfielders. 2 of them go straight into the first team. We'll still be light in the midfield. To fully fix this midfield problem, we'd have to sign 5 of them in one window, or in one season rather. I'd take some in January. Surely Bellingham will choose Madrid if they want to sign him over us after watching that. The hope, Liam, is Jude Bellingham turn on the game, watch the first 20 minutes, and then his internet died or his skybox broke or something. He never got to watch the end of it, and then it's just been like someone got onto his phone and muted the word Liverpool. So in his mind, we won 2-0 yesterday, so we'll get him in. Of course, the media will blame Trent as he's English and he had a good last season. People expect him to do as good as last season. Like Henderson does not go for him. That is how we play. Trent Alexander-Arnold is the most scrutinised player in this team because they want him to be perfect at 21 or 23, is he now? Like they want him to be perfect when no one's perfect. Our back 4 only had 3 successful tackles and all 3 were Trent's. I think Mo Salah. It was Cody Gakpo had more tackles than our entire midfield. Tom Bro, is Fabinho worse than Jay Spearman this season? He's not far off it. If we get top 4, then I think we get him since he wants to play for Klopp and he is still young. Do we get top 4 though? That's the big one. We don't fix Liverpool with Paul. You know what I'll do though? I'll do that on its own separate stream. I'll make a separate stream where I actually break through this squad, who needs to do one, and who I'd bring in and how I'd play. I'll do that one on Wednesday today. Tomorrow. I'll do that one. Tomorrow. And then next week I'll do FM. But for now, let's do these player ratings. We'll top 4 paper over the cracks massively. It'd give people a false idea of delusion that we're okay and we can get away with it when we can't. So, let me just set this up. Obviously, I haven't got me normal player ratings thing because whatever reason. But I'm going to have to improvise here just using this screen. Is there a way I can, write on it? No, yeah, there isn't. Look, I'll rattle them off. Alisson made the mistake. He made a couple of good saves, but he made a couple of bad mistakes. It's going to be very hard for any player to get a higher rating in this team. So Alisson's going to get a 3. A 3 for Alisson. Trent gets a 4 because he was the best of the defence, but it still wasn't great. I don't think any defender can get higher than a 4 if you concede 5. That's just an absolute shambles. Gomez, 1. Gomez can have a 1. And he can just, do one. Just don't touch this club again. Virgil van Dijk can have a 2. And Andy Robertson can have a 2. Both of them pointless, useless. They just didn't make the mistakes that led to the goals, but they were still not very good. God, I'm giving ratings of 1s out in a Champions League round of 16 first leg at home. Do you know how sad that is, man? You know how sad that is? Henderson. 3. Statistically, he had a really good game because he had the most recoveries or whatever, but I don't care about recoveries or SofaScore or football by stats. The eye test showed me he stunk. So he can have a 3. Fabinho can have a 1. Bajcetic can have a 4. I thought Bajcetic was once again the best out of the midfielders. At his moments, the first goal comes from him winning the ball back in the midfield. But again, I think the game overawed him a little bit at times. Fabinho can have a 1 because he was honestly useless. It's like having a tree in the midfield. There's no point in it. What we used to slag off Marouane Fellaini for, that's what Fabinho is for us now. It's a joke. Cody Gakpo can have a 4. Don't think he done much of an attacking end, but he was decent with his press and won the ball back a couple of times. Should have really got an assist though, because he fell over in the box like 2 minutes in and should have passed it to Salah. But apart from that, he was all right. Salah can have a 6, goal and assist, but once Nacho Fernandez came on, he was just so in his pocket, it was unreal. So in his pocket, it was unreal. And Darwin Núñez can have a 6. No, Núñez can have a 7. I've actually got nothing bad to say about Núñez. Got his goal, wonderful little finish with the back heel. Was always a threat, always carried threat. Danny Carvajal did not have anywhere near as much joy as he did against the Wistias in the final. But our manager took him off for some reason, so hey hum. Who came on? Matip came on. What did he do? He didn't concede, so he can have a 3. Milner can have a 1. What was the point? Elliot, can I even get? He got booked. He managed to get booked, so Elliot can have a 1 as well. Firmino and Jota, they can have 2. Like, that just stunk. That was an absolute shambolic display. And when we go look at this Madrid team and you go look at that midfield, oh my God, I'm so jealous of that midfield. So jealous of it. Look at that midfield. Oh my God. I don't think you man know what I would do to have a midfield like that. They were bringing on Toni Kroos. Toni Kroos. Come on. We're sitting there bringing on bloody James Milner. Anyway, let's get back to these comments. Klopp's in-game tactics stink. Alisson saved us against Newcastle when 2-0, but Madrid punished us. When will Klopp learn to adapt in game? Jurgen Klopp is 58 years of age. If he hasn't learned to adapt now, he never will. Barcelona put Araujo right back to stop Vinny. You can't have your right back pushing up the pitch when you go against him. It's not about trends, it's about the tactics. Alisson 1, Alisson 3. Alisson gets a 1, conceded 5, made a massive mistake. Love him though. He also made a really important save to stop it from being 6. I think he made 2 actually. I wouldn't give Alisson a 6. I would not give Alisson a 6. Trent gets a 2. I think a 2 is harsh for Trent, but hey ho, Alisson 4. Well, I gave him a 4, I think. So yeah. Gomez gets a -5. You could have told me that, and I can't exactly argue it. Trent 5. I think that's a little bit too high for anyone who concedes 5. To be fair. VVD gets a 3. Gomez -100. Take me back to the first 14 minutes. That was special. That Núñez goal. Oh, all the endorphins in the brain. His goal, his knee slide celebration. I left with Sutton. I got a Núñez goal. So I've left with Sutton. Gomez 1, sorry. VVD 3. Robbo 1. 2 for Robbo. 2 for Van Dijk. Gomez NA. Hendo 4. Badge gets a 3. Fab 2. Hendo 2. That's fair enough. I can't argue against it. Fabinho 3. He was a 1. Bajcetic 4. Cody Gakpo won 3 tackles last night, more than Fabinho and Henderson combined. Shambles. Absolute fucking shambles. But hey ho. Salah gets a 6. 3. Núñez a 6 as well. Henderson was decent, a 5 at least. Fab 1. Big up Tom. Oh, it's Prime. Good to see you, lad. I'm so proud I've never caught you live before. Top man, bad last yesterday. It'll be interesting to see how you guys respond to defeat. Klopp needs to find his best team and stick to it. My manager doesn't know his best team. We are on February 22nd, 2023. There's 3 months after the season. My manager still doesn't know his best team. He still doesn't know his best team. We're done for. We're actually done for. I saw someone that Trent won all his duels defensively. I think he did, I think he did. Let's fix that. Yeah, there you go. Salah 5, Gakpo 4, Núñez 6, Gakpo 4, Salah 6, Núñez 5, Gakpo 3. Didn't get a single pass in the second half, Salah. 7 for Núñez. How many people slipped last night, by the way? Loads. That was pure weird. We had our first goal. Was it our first? Or was it the second where someone slipped, like one of our players slips? I think it's Gakpo slips. Then Camavinga picks up the ball and slips. And then we counter. I think it was the second goal. It was pure. The pitch was a shambles. Núñez hat-trick in the second leg. Can't wait. If Núñez got a hat-trick in the second leg, Jesus Christ, the propaganda we could run. Haaland could never. That's all I'll say. Haaland could never. Elliot got bullied. I don't know what he's expected to do with the last 5 minutes, to be fair. To build some consistency and continuity, these players don't deserve the continuity of being in the starting 11 the whole time when their performances are that bad, though. There's a fine line you've got to tread between continuity and dropping players because they're shit. And right now, Fabinho cannot be in that starting 11. He can't be. Henderson can go into the 6, I don't care. But Fabinho cannot be touching that starting 11. Really won. That free kick was embarrassing. Why was they zonal marking? This is another one. People are getting onto Trent for that free kick. He's picking up a zone. Zonal marking is not about picking up a man, it's about picking up a zone. Eder Militao leaves his zone, so he can't follow Eder Militao because someone else could move into that zone and then they're unmarked. It's an issue of zonal marking itself. Zonal marking needs to fuck off. I don't like it. I've never liked it. I never will like it. I much prefer man to man. Why we have English players who don't get anywhere near the England squad? I mean, Henderson and Trent get there, but less said about Henderson being in there, the better. Gomez should go to Villa or something. Villa can do better than Gomez. Alisson gets a 1. I understand. I think it's a little bit harsh, but I understand. Nunes' goal was amazing. Nunes thrives on instinct. When he doesn't have to think about what he's doing, he thrives. He's so much better when he doesn't have to think. Same stuff, Tom. Nunes invites me until the end of the season. Badge 6, Nunes next Suarez. I don't think Nunes and Suarez are similar type of players in the slice. I think Luis Suarez always had a bit of a class about him with his control. Darwin Nunes has no control, but Darwin Nunes is just such a physical monster. I think that's where the differences arise between him and Suarez. Klopp saying Gomez got a hamstring, hopefully just saying he won't be used now. That was the thing that got me. Whenever someone has a bad game, we sub them off and play the injury card. Let them live and die by their shit performances. Stop letting them get away with it, because they don't deserve to get away with it. It's a joke. Salah 6. Tom, thoughts on Johnny Minerals? Jota hasn't scored for 10 months. Should have kept Nunes on and gone 4-2. I've got no issue bringing Jota on. But it should have been for Gakpo. And then Fabinho should have went off for Firmino. And then you go Nunes on the left, Salah on the right, Firmino in behind Jota. That would work. That's a fantastic front four. But no, we had to bring James Milner on. No, not all is yours. I mean, oh my God, that's even worse. It will be interesting how we respond to this defeat to see if we have the guts to respond after that embarrassing defeat. We won't. You know what's weird? It's Crystal Palace away next. Crystal Palace away on a Saturday night after a humbling. That just absolutely screams 2-0 Crystal Palace. Wilfred Zaha and Eberechi Eze. Screams. I could see it coming from a mile away. It's so obvious what's going to happen. It's so obvious. Yeah, the back line won 3 tackles. All of them was Trent. Embarrassing. Benzema was right behind Trent. He had to mark the zone. Exactly. That's what zonal marking is. Why do you hate Hendo? He's your captain. He delivered for your club. He shows passion, desire, and fight for the badge. I'm still yet to see anyone praise Jordan Henderson in the last 3 years for footballing ability. Every single one of them things you praised him for, I would do if I was on the football pitch. But no, Jordan Henderson gets special dispensation for it. Joke. Facts, Tom. Zonal marking is all about playing the percentages, to be fair. Usually when the players aren't absolute shit, it's much better. Zonal marking is all about analysis of the game. So what the thing is, Real Madrid are a good team. Real Madrid have pay analysts a lot of money to identify weaknesses. And this zonal marking thing has been a weakness, which is why I don't like it. It's always been a weakness. I've never liked it because it's very easy to exploit. You just need to find out where the weakest zone is. There's nothing about, a mistake in that. I could identify the weakest zone on every single one of Liverpool corners for every single game this season, and we could have had a perfect day defending them, but there's still a weakness that just wasn't exploited. That's the big thing. I'm surprised the fans were this quiet after Madrid's first goal. What's the point of playing at home? I mean, the club's a tourist club at the minute. It's an absolute tourist club at the minute. Scousers aren't getting into games. Tourists are. We're giving tickets out to fans. We're giving tickets out to, like people who don't even want to be there. They're not Liverpool fans, but it's a big game, so get them in there. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. We've got tourists who are there for the day and then want to leave. You've got old fans in there who are now moaning at people for trying to sing and create an atmosphere when that was the whole reason you were here in the first place. It's the whole reason why Anfield's got such a good name, the atmosphere, the songs, this, that, and the other. But no, people get stared at like the criminals for trying to sing at Anfield now. Joke. Palace will be up for it. Palace will sense blood. They'll sense blood. They'll sense a chance to get us, and they probably will get us. Am I the only one who doesn't feel like watching the rest of these? I'll watch the rest of the Champions League because there's money to be made from it. I'm a betting man. I can make good money on the Champions League, but it hurts. I mean, like I said on the first stream, whoever wins this tie wins the tournament, and that performance should back up even more. Real Madrid have no weakness. They have no weakness on the European stage. That heritage, that history, it's so important and so valued. And I think, what's mad? I think if it was any other team that had come to Anfield and had that first 20 minutes against us where they conceded 2, I think they would have wilted. But Real Madrid just have that dog. They have that energy. Benzema, Modric, they don't have Varane anymore. Who else do they have? Courtois, Tony Kroos. They've all been in this situation before. They've been in worse situations. They know how to get out of this stuff. That's the big thing about Real Madrid. And that's why I hate playing against them. They've just got that experience that you can't buy. Klopp should have made changes at halftime. I don't know why he never does it. He needs to improvise against the big teams because in his mind, Ukasha, plan A works constantly. Plan B is immense constantly. Yada, 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 yada. We can do no wrong. He's so stubborn and it hurts us more than it helps us. Need to bounce back versus Palace. We do. Doubt we will, though. Even if we was on a mark out of all players, you put Trent back post. We was on a mark and it always ends up with Naby Keita marking the centre back. It always ends up with a centre mid on the centre back. Why? What is that going to achieve? What is Naby Keita going to do up against the 6'4" man? It's a joke. It makes no sense. At least we're getting Paddy's TikToks. Why was Vinny not man marked? He has always had a field day against us. It's very hard to man mark Vinicius Jr. because he's that dangerous. You can't. It's not as simple as just going right. You stay on him because he'll do him. You just have to defend him so well. You always have to have a covering man. You have to work 10 times harder against players like him. It's the same way we used to defend with Leroy Sané, and the same way you have to defend Eden Hazard, you have to do it with Vinicius Jr. Mix of tourists and all the fans in the atmosphere. You're not wrong. True, it'll be a very difficult game for you against Crystal Palace. They'll try and put it on you, especially at home at Selhurst Park, which is one of the best atmospheres in the country. They'll sense blood and they'll come for it. And I think they do a big win this season. Henderson gives us all for LSE. They'll at least give him some credit for showing passion and desire and fight and yada, 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 yada. Again, praise. If you can give me one piece of credit on his footballing ability, I'll praise him. That's all I need. One piece of credit on his footballing ability. I was at the game. The fans were not quiet at all. They were quiet the last 30 minutes. They were quiet when the going went bad. That's what it was. I'd rather we've just been smashed rather than going 2-0 up just to lose. That as well. They gave me false hope. They tried to lure me in, and then they just go and do that shit. What's the point, man? What is the point? They were ruthless in how they kept going for more goals, showing their intent and mark of a top team. They stopped at 5 out of respect. They stopped at 5 out of respect for us. They should have ended up with 6 or 7. We probably deserved to end up with 6 or 7, and that would have been even better because it would have been an even bigger wake-up call. Vinny owns Liverpool. He does. He needs to be perfect to knock out Real Madrid, and we weren't simple as. You can be perfect and still lose to Real Madrid. There's just no accounting for how good they are in the Champions League. Hence, Henderson is a decent passer of the football. Don't think I didn't see them 3 failed back post crosses. No, Joe Allen, I don't see a difference. Joe Allen was actually good. Fans were quiet after 2-1, letting Madrid Olay for 20-odd minutes with no response. Shambles. The Olaying was an absolute shambles as well. How are we getting Olayed at home? Joke, man. Joke. Nacho was absolutely solid. He was. I thought he'd done really well coming on and dealing with Mo Salah. It's possibly the worst tie we could have got. We always lose to a fucking Madrid team in the knockouts. Henderson couldn't pass a parcel. He'd try and open it. That's what he'd do. But I think I'm going to call it there. I've got, this Man City, Leipzig tonight. That'll be an interesting one because Leipzig seems to have City's number at times. But I don't know why Mars. It's not like we're going to see, a comeback from us. But Crystal Palace on the weekend. Can I get a preview out for that? If there is a preview coming out from me, it'll be a midday stream on Saturday. But because I'm doing a rebuilding Liverpool tomorrow, and then I'm out on Friday, so can't do it on Friday. I want to see what he says in his press conference beforehand as well. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for chatting. Good interaction. Nice to know that others are going through the same pain as me. I'll see you back here tomorrow at some point. What do I need to... Right, make sure to like the video if you haven't already. Yep, 1. Make sure to subscribe if you've not already. 2. Turn on notifications. 3. All them things that are going across the bottom, TikTok, Twitter, make sure you're following them as well. 4. And I will see you all tomorrow for either Football Manager or Rebuilding Liverpool in a bit, everyone. In a bit.